There comes a time in every life when we are forced to look at ourselves honestly. Maybe life knocked you down. Maybe you made a series of poor choices. Maybe you simply lost your way. But here's the truth. No matter how broken, tired, or lost you feel, you can rebuild yourself. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not what others say about you. You are who you choose to become from this moment forward. The very first step in rebuilding yourself is to acknowledge where you currently stand, emotionally, mentally, physically, and even spiritually. Too often we avoid this step because it forces us to confront parts of ourselves that we're not proud of. The mistakes, the regrets, the weaknesses, the hurt. But ignoring your reality doesn't change it. In fact, it only deepens the disconnect between who you are now and who you wish to become. There is immense power in facing yourself honestly. This is where I am. Without denial, you begin to transition into one or restiquia, and there it hits. It's no longer a feeling. There is acknowledgement is not the same as judgment. Many people confuse the two, thinking that if they admit they're in a bad place, it automatically means they're a failure. But this isn't about labeling yourself as broken. It's about understanding your starting point. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. It's like trying to heal a wound while pretending it doesn't exist. In order to rebuild, you must first understand the cracks in your foundation. This honesty is not weakness, it is bravery. It requires far more strength to be real with yourself than to hide behind pretense or pride. Shame is the biggest barrier at this stage. We carry so much guilt for what we could have done, what we didn't do, what we should have done differently. Impossible. To heal up the day is just cannot checked. It's visit you. That change is impossible. You have to learn to separate from response and act. Yeah, it's difficult, impossible. You have to learn to speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you care about. Yes. This is where I am right now, but this is not where I will remain. Giving yourself permission to be human is essential for healing. Once you accept your current state without shame, you create a clear and honest foundation to rebuild upon. From this place of clarity, you can make decisions that are grounded in truth rather than illusion. You can identify what needs to be fixed, what needs to be strengthened, and what needs to be completely let go of. Denial keeps you stuck, but acknowledgement frees you. It opens the door to growth by shifting your mindset from self-pity to self-empowerment. It's only when you know where you are that you can begin to chart a path to where you want to go. Letting go of the past is one of the most difficult yet most necessary parts of rebuilding yourself. Many people carry emotional baggage for years. Past mistakes, painful relationships, failures, or harsh words said in moments of anger. These burdens slowly become part of their identity, shaping how they see themselves and how they interact with the world. But the past, no matter how heavy, is not meant to be carried forever. It's meant to be learned from, understood, and ultimately released. Holding on to it only slows your growth and clouds your present. You cannot rebuild a new life while clinging to the ruins of the old one. But the tricky part is that we often grow attached to our pain, not because we enjoy suffering, but because it becomes familiar. There's a strange comfort in holding on to what you've always known, even if it hurts. For some, a toxic relationship or self-substantive habit can feel safer than the unknown. But the truth is, comfort zones built from pain are prisons in disguise. You have to be willing to walk away from those people, places, and patterns that no longer align with your healing. That decision, though difficult, is the first major act of self-respect. Letting go isn't about being heartless. It's about protecting your future. There's also a powerful emotional shift that happens when you finally release the past. You begin to make space for new experiences, healthier relationships, and a clearer vision for your life. Imagine trying to fill a cup that's already overflowing. It's impossible. That's what it's like trying to grow, while your heart and mind are cluttered with regrets and resentment. You have to pour out the bitterness, the guilt, and the disappointment to make room for joy, purpose, and peace. This isn't about pretending the past didn't happen.
Stop sama balaga.
Never to explain what really is real. It's the victory that you're supposed to strike. It might not, it, there should be, letting go is also about forgiving both yourself and others. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as a sign of weakness or surrender, but it's actually one of the highest forms of strength. When you forgive, you release the emotional hold that the past has on you. You free yourself from the mental loop that replays pain over and over again. Without forgiveness, wounds stay open. With forgiveness, they begin to heal. Rebuilding yourself means unburdening your soul so that you can walk forward freely, without the weight of old chapters dragging behind you. Letting go doesn't erase your past. It transforms it into wisdom. Once you've acknowledged your current state and made the brave decision to let go of the past, the next crucial step in rebuilding yourself is to create and reinforce a strong foundation with new habits. You cannot expect a different life if you continue living with the same routines that led to your previous downfall. Habits are the silent architects of our lives. They shape our thoughts, influence our behavior, and determine the direction of our future. The difference between staying stuck and moving forward often lies in the habits you practice every single day. They may seem small and insignificant at first, but over time they build the structure of who you become. When you rebuild, think of yourself as laying new bricks for a stronger, more resilient version of you. Start with small, consistent changes. Wake up earlier, drink more water, move your body, journal your thoughts, limit your screen time. The aim is to replace chaotic, destructive patterns with habits that ground you, energize you, and reconnect you with your purpose. And the more consistent you become, the more natural and effortless these habits will feel. Habits also give you back a sense of control. When life falls apart, it often leaves us feeling powerless. We start to believe that external circumstances define us. But when you take ownership of your daily choices, you begin to take back that power. You no longer react to life, you begin to shape it. Every positive action you take, no matter how small, becomes a declaration. I am in charge of my life now. This internal shift, this growing sense of self-discipline, builds confidence and stability. With every good habit you build, you lay a stronger emotional and mental foundation that can weather future storms. And let's not forget the importance of environment in habit formation. Rebuilding yourself isn't just about willpower. It's also about creating a setting that supports your growth. That means organizing your space, minimizing distractions, and surrounding yourself with people who inspire healthy choices. A strong foundation isn't built in isolation. It's influenced by what and who you allow into your life. If your environment constantly tempts you back into old patterns, even the strongest intentions can collapse. But if you intentionally design your world to reflect your values and goals, your new habits have room to flourish. Your foundation becomes not only strong, but sustainable. As you rebuild yourself, one of the most transformative decisions you can make is to evaluate and adjust the company you keep. The people around you either nourish your growth or silently sabotage it. Often we underestimate just how much influence our environment has on our mindset, habits, and self-worth. Rebuilding isn't just an internal process. It's deeply affected by the voices you hear every day. If you are surrounded by negativity, criticism, drama, or complacency, those energies will slowly become part of you. You begin to normalize what you hear and see. And over time, your progress becomes stunted without even realizing it. It's important to understand that not everyone can come with you to the next chapter of your life. Some relationships may have served their purpose in the past, but now hold you back with their limiting beliefs or toxic energy. As painful as it may be, rebuilding requires you to let go of people who consistently drain your spirit, discourage your dreams, or reinforce unhealthy behaviors. You can love someone from a distance and still choose not to let them have access to your inner world. This isn't about arrogance or coldness. It's about survival, protection, and growth. You're not being selfish for prioritizing your mental peace. You're being responsible. On the flip side, when you intentionally surround yourself with people who uplift, support, and challenge you to grow, everything changes. Inspiration becomes natural. Motivation becomes contagious. Your circle should include individuals who believe in your vision even when you're still doubting it yourself. These are the people who remind you of your potential, who hold you accountable, who cheer for you when you make progress, and who gently correct you when you lose focus. Having just one or two truly supportive people can make a world of difference. Their energy feeds your resilience and keeps your momentum alive. Positive influence isn't limited to personal relationships. It also includes what you consume. the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the content you scroll through daily, all of it feeds your mind. If you want to rebuild, start feeding your mind with information that inspires discipline, healing, and growth. Let your environment reflect the person you want to become. Clean your space, cut out noise, add beauty and calm to your surroundings. You can't build a new life in an old mental neighborhood. Elevating your influences creates a higher standard for your life. You begin to rise, not just because you want to, but because your environment makes it impossible to settle for less. Rebuilding yourself is not a straight road. It's a winding path full of setbacks, slow progress, and emotional highs and lows. In this journey, self-compassion becomes your most powerful inner tool. Too often, people start making changes but quit when they stumble, believing they've failed. But progress isn't about perfection. You will have days where your motivation fades, where old habits creep back in, where you question your worth and wonder if the struggle is worth it. These are the moments when compassion, not criticism, is needed most. You wouldn't scold a wounded friend trying to heal, so why do it to yourself? The internal voice you carry, your self-talk, plays a massive role in whether you rebuild or remain broken. You create an inner environment that support, scale, and risk dharma from your inner voice. You acknowledge that it's okay to fall as long as you get back up. You acknowledge that it's okay to fall down. It's too much. And when people be falling, then patience is equally essential in this process. In a world that glorifies instant results, we're conditioned to expect immediate transformation. But true rebuilding doesn't work that way. You cannot undo years of pain, trauma, or poor choices overnight. Change is layered, often uncomfortable, and deeply personal. Impatience leads to self-doubt and burnout. It convinces you that if you're not seeing fast results, you're not doing enough. But that's a lie. Real growth is quiet. It happens in moments of choice, in daily discipline, in showing up even when nothing seems to be changing on the surface. Patience helps you trust the process, even when the results haven't shown up yet. You must also learn to celebrate small victories. So often people ignore their progress because it doesn't feel big enough. But in rebuilding, every step counts. Waking up on time, resisting an old temptation, journaling your thoughts, getting out of bed when you didn't feel like it. These are not minor things. These are signs that you are becoming stronger. When you treat yourself with kindness and celebrate your efforts, you are more likely to stay committed to your growth. You are not meant to be rebuilt in a rush, but layer by layer, with care, with patience, and with the understanding that healing is not a race. Rebuilding yourself is not just about recovering from the past. It's about rediscovering who you truly are underneath the noise, the pain, and the influence of others. Too many people walk through life disconnected from their true identity, shaped instead by what others expect of them or by the wounds they carry. Over time, we lose sight of our own voice, our core beliefs, and our personal truth. The process of rebuilding gives you a sacred opportunity to pause and ask, who am I really? What matters to me? What do I believe in when no one is watching? These aren't surface level questions. They're the foundation of a life lived with purpose and integrity. One of the most damaging effects of a broken life is the erosion of self-identity. We begin to define ourselves by our failures, heartbreaks, rejections, or the labels others gave us. But those are not who you are. They are experiences you've had, not your essence. Reclaiming your identity means stripping away every false story you've been told about yourself and rewriting your own narrative based on truth, selflessness, and clarity. You are not the broken version of yourself. You are the author of the person you choose to become. And in this reclamation, you begin to live life from a place of authenticity rather than insecurity. To truly rebuild yourself, you must also reconnect with your values. Your values are your inner compass. They guide your decisions, shape your priorities, and influence how you treat yourself and others. Without clear values, life feels chaotic and confusing. You begin to chase things that don't fulfill you, say yes when you should say no, and drift instead of direct. When you identify what you genuinely stand for, whether it's honesty, compassion, discipline, creativity, or faith, you create a life that aligns with your deepest self. This process of reclaiming identity and values also involves setting boundaries with people, situations, and even your own thoughts. This version of you, the one rooted in purpose and personal truth, is the version that can weather any storm. Reclaiming yourself isn't selfish. It's the most courageous and necessary part of becoming whole again. One of the most powerful principles in the journey of rebuilding yourself is the unwavering commitment to keep moving forward no matter what. Life has a way of testing your resolve just when you begin to rise. There will be setbacks, failures, unexpected obstacles, and moments of intense doubt. But progress is not about avoiding these difficulties. It's about pushing through them. The key is to keep taking steps, no matter how small, even when you feel like standing still. Each step forward, no matter how uncertain or shaky, is proof that you are refusing to be defined by your past or held hostage by fear. It's easy to get discouraged when the transformation you envision doesn't come as quickly or easily as you hoped. The mind begins to whisper, maybe this isn't working, maybe I'll never change. In those moments, it's vital to remember that rebuilding is not about speed, it's about direction. Some days, our progress may look like breakthroughs. Other days, it may look like just surviving. But as long as you're moving, you're growing. The only real failure is giving up. Even when it feels like you're giving up and strengthening your foundation for what lies ahead. Perseverance is built in the quiet hours, when no one is watching, when applause is absent, when results are invisible. This is where true character is forged. Rebuilding requires stamina. It demands that you learn to motivate yourself even when external encouragement is lacking. The more you practice showing up for yourself, even in discomfort, the more resilient and self-reliant you become. This doesn't mean you'll never fall back or make mistakes. It means that when you do, you get back up with more wisdom than before. Each challenge becomes a teacher. Each failure becomes a stepping stone toward something stronger and better. To keep moving forward also means learning to embrace imperfection. Many people paralyze themselves by thinking they have to be perfect before taking action. But perfection is not a prerequisite for progress. Waiting to feel ready can delay your entire journey. The truth is, no one feels completely ready when stepping into the unknown. But you build strength and clarity by moving. You learn by doing, by failing, and by adjusting. Growth is messy, non-linear, and deeply human. Even with uncertainty, you are gradually building a life that reflects the strength, courage, and vision of who you are becoming. Rebuilding yourself is not a one-time decision, it is a daily commitment. A commitment to rise when you fall, to speak kindly to yourself when the world is harsh, to believe in your worth even when you feel unworthy. You are not here to remain broken. You are here to rise, to evolve, and to reclaim the life you are always meant to live. No matter where you've been or what you've been through, today is a new chance, a new beginning. You are allowed to start over. Your future self is already cheering you, your transformation. Keep going. Your future self is already cheering you on.